Good evening. Welcome to the Monday, March 15th, 2021 meeting of the Woodbridge Traffic Authority and Board of Police Commissioners. It is 6:21. I know that we've been somewhat inconsistent, but I think I'll just call attendance to make it clear in the event that this is just not a video and tape. So if you can just acknowledge your presence. Commissioner Esposito?
Here.
Dr. Freed?
Here.
Mr. Falsigno?
His mic is off.
I know. Once again, he's...
Yeah, there I am. There I am.
Dr. Desir.
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you. And I'm Robert Burke. First item on the agenda, Woodbridge Traffic Authority. Public comments. Is there anyone from the public that had sent any correspondence or indicated that they wish to be heard?
No, there isn't.
Thank you, Janice. I should have stated that we're holding this meeting via Zoom pursuant to Governor's Executive Order 7B, Section 1. The second item on the agenda is traffic matters, a request to approve the annual road race. Chief,
yes, the Woodbridge Recreation Department will be holding its annual Woodbridge Road Race on Saturday, October 2nd, 2021. They use the roads from approximately 8 in the morning until noon, and they plan on using the usual customary road race route of Newton Road to Burnt Swamp, south on Amity Road to North Pease, Rice, Center Road back to the center of town. As always, it's well-staffed, well-marked with signs and cones. We'll dedicate personnel to assist at the main intersections as well for safety. So their Recreation Department is seeking the traffic authority's permission, and with that will enable them to move forward with getting the necessary state highway department grant permits.
Anyone have any questions?
No.
So I'm going to entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Falsigno, seconded by Dr. Freed. Is there any discussion? All those in favor by raising your hand? I note that everyone voted in favor. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Falsigno, seconded by Mr. Esposito. Is there anyone objecting to it? All those in favor? I know I did that backwards. Steve?
Good.
Unanimous. Now we'll begin the Board of Police Commissioners. First item on the agenda is the approval of our minutes from February 8th of 2021. Does anyone note any corrections we need to make? Yes, Dr. Freed.
No, just move approval of minutes.
Second.
Second. Moved by Dr. Freed, seconded by Mr. Esposito. Any discussion? Hearing and seeing no one. All those in favor? I noticed that that's unanimous. Thank you. The next item on our agenda is public comment. Janice, is there anyone from the public that had indicated to you they wish to be heard?
No, there isn't.
Is there anyone from the public that wishes to be heard? The only Zoom address I don't recognize is 5 Smith. I know the number is Mr. Crisco. Chief, do you know who 5 Smith is?
I do not.
Okay. Does anyone wish to be heard from the public? Okay, hearing no one, moving on to the review of the reports, the financial report.
The financial report, we've completed 8 months of our budget for fiscal year 21, and we continue on course at about 69%, counting encumbrances. We'll go over any specific lines that anybody wants to discuss. The overtime line regarding police, last month with the windstorm that we had, covered a lot of hours on that too.
Does anyone have any questions about the financial report?
No question.
Frank, what is the data processing line that's over budget?
The data processing line, I had to do a lot with the bunch encumbered in that line, that 52210. And a lot of the costs were things that we talked about that last meeting that were unanticipated, but are associated with the new upgrades through TBNG. It was a new antivirus, new Barracuda spam, and some new workstations. It's all part of the phase 2 project of our infrastructure that I'll speak with during my chief's report section.
And my other question is more of a general question regarding overtime than specific to this budget, this report, but is overtime approved by a supervisor before it's incurred?
It is.
And can you articulate how that process occurs?
Yes, it's usually associated with something that either works after, it's an after hours case. They're called in by a supervisor. If it's storm related or traffic duty, they're called in by a supervisor for that. Pretty much anything before it gets finalized has to be signed off by a with supervisory approval and state the reason. There's forms that are associated with each overtime assignments for council purposes.
And if there's overtime that results not necessarily in a callback, but an extension of someone's shift, is that also approved by a supervisor?
It is.
Okay.
And the supervisors are you and the sergeant?
Yes, but that's usually, handled at a sergeant's level. If no one was around, it would fall on me, but otherwise it'd be handled at the sergeant's level. And often if there's not a sergeant, it gets handled at the, at the officer in charge level.
So just to clarify, if there's a patrol officer out and he's working the 7 to 3 shift, and he needs to continue writing up paperwork or doing anything after 3 o'clock, someone approves him to stay?
Correct.
So on a day-to-day basis, you have the ability to approve in that given moment. So he calls in and says, "Hey, it's 3 o'clock. You want me to leave, do the paperwork tomorrow, or you want me to stay?"
Yeah, the oncoming supervisor would sometimes there's a need that it has to get done if he's going on his days off. If it's affiliated with something that has to be a court in a timely manner, or if sometimes it's a continuing investigation, they can't just say they get a call, they can't just stop if at the end of their shift it might run over a little bit.
Are there any other questions?
They all have to be justified with the appropriate reason.
Any other questions? Is there a motion to approve the financial report?
So moved.
Is there a second? Moved by Mr. Esposito, seconded by Dr. Desir. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? I note that it passed unanimously. The activity report.
The criminal activity, we had several frauds and larceny complaints. Most of those were involved with some were computer fraud, telemarketing, and identity theft, and some altered checks and related documents like that they were handling through the banking institutions. We had 5 instances last month of larcenies from vehicles in the Johnson Road, Fountain Street area was predominantly for those. Then we had 4 stolen vehicles, one from Eldersley Lane, one from the parking lot of a local deli down on Litchfield Turnpike that was left running, one stolen overnight in a driveway off Fountain Street in the area of Woodfield, and another one left running in the driveway on Route 69 when it was warming up with the keys in it. All 4 of those have since been since been recovered. As far as criminal arrests during the month, some of the significant ones, arrested a subject on an outstanding warrant for violation of probation. That was the result of his previous arrest in town back in January. We also had another arrest warrant, outstanding warrant for the possession of narcotics for a suspect that was in possession of heroin during a prior incident, and an arrest for breach of peace on the 12th when there was a dispute and an altercation in the parking lot of a local business establishment. And on the ISU side, they assumed several new cases last month. They worked with CF in locating a missing juvenile. They were called in and investigated a suicide that had occurred at a residence on February 1st, right at the height of one of the snowstorms. And they worked with the area PDs in locating and recovering our stolen motor vehicles, and following up on several larceny and check cases that I reported. It had 10 requests for fingerprints and 8 additional pistol permit background investigation processing. And that's it for the criminal report. And the traffic activity report. Traffic enforcement remains consistent with that as it has been for the past several months and throughout the pandemic. During last month, we had a total of 23 accidents. Actually, 3 of those were evading type accidents where the vehicles fled the scene, so that was kind of unusual. But overall, accidents were down in the first 2 months of this year from where they were last year, and it continues with the pattern that I mentioned. Overall, accidents have been down during the 2020 calendar year, and they performed 337 radar assignments and 329 deterrent traffic patrols. And that's all I have for activity, criminal and
Frank, with the modifications of the restrictions that the governor has lifted, do you see the traffic enforcement changing?
Yeah, I see as we go
coming months?
forward and with the vaccinations and more people getting vaccinated, that we're going to have to start getting back towards normal. Yes.
Does anyone have any questions? Is there a motion to approve the activity report?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. That's moved by Dr. Freed, seconded by Dr. Seer. All those in favor? I see almost everyone's hands. Unanimous. Moving on to your report, Frank.
The first topic that I have was we'll need to reschedule the April and May Board of Police Commissioners meeting. The town has released the dates for the upcoming preliminary budget hearing and the annual town meeting, and they're both on the nights of our meetings. The first one was a preliminary budget hearing, and that'll be on the evening of April 19th, and then the town meeting will be on the evening of May 17th. So they both conflict with our calendar.
Can I trouble you folks to look at your calendars and see what works?
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Can we just push them off by a week? No, because the May, that would put us at Memorial Day, right?
When do you want to do them, Chief? What works for you? You want to give us some proposed dates?
I can do it anytime that you guys want to do them. We have our calendars here. It kind of works with us. We could do them
How's April 12th?
the week before. Yeah, the week before in April, the 12th, we're open.
Wait 1 second.
April 12th, I
You can bring me the
another obligation. Can we do April 13th? Or is that the conflict day?
Ken, you have a comment?
Okay.
Right? The 13th, that poses difficulty for us here.
Okay.
It's the beginning of Ramadan.
It's true.
I was just going to say that. It's on my calendar.
Well, if everyone else can do the 12th, do that. And you don't need everyone.
Well, let's take another stab at it.
What about in April the 26th? That would work for me.
No, we're out of town the 24th through the 1st.
Okay.
Why don't you just come back for the meeting?
Yeah, no, you came back from Florida.
I didn't go just because of the meeting. I got COVID to help everybody out.
Uh-huh. Do Thursdays work for people, like April 15th? Or is that a bad idea?
It's fine with
Yeah,
us.
I can't do the 15th.
Did we look at preceding week? Was that out? The
Which
of the
week?
5th?
So can we just kick it off by a day? How about the 21st?
I can't do the 21st.
What about the first week in April, other than the 5th?
Mhm. Yeah, how about the 6th?
6th.
5th? Yeah, I'm free that whole week, whatever that works for everybody.
I'm good. And then 6th,
Yes.
All right, April 6th?
April 6th works.
All right, now,
What do we see?
May.
So no April 19th. Got it.
So let me just ask you a question about that week. Would the 7th work for anybody?
Yes.
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 Because I have,
Steve, 7?
Yeah, I'm just checking.
Keep it
Yeah,
down.
I think that's fine.
We're talking about May or
That's
April?
fine. Sure.
April.
April.
Yeah, April
7th?
7th is fine.
That's fine.
April 7th.
And Janice is good too?
Yep.
I'm good. Are we all good for April 7th?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So now we need a May date too.
So not the 17th. How about the 19th?
but hold on, so it's the 6:15. We're still meeting the same time?
Same
Yes.
time.
6:15 until forever on the,
Just make it time.
I can do it on the 19th if you want.
Ninth.
You have
Oh.
to, 11.
so what date did we cancel? We canceled April,
17th. No, we canceled
Base.
Canceled April 19th and
April
rescheduled
19th.
for the 7th of April.
And now we're canceling May 17th.
Correct.
are we sending out we're sending out an email about this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who's it, Janice?
Yes, I'll
Yeah,
do
once
it.
we get the date, yeah.
So we're also going to have to consider dates for the interviews. But we'll talk about that.
So
Yeah,
May,
we could figure that out later. I would
But I
think.
just want to suggest that we're going to have to,
we're
Yeah.
canceling May 17th and when are we having it?
Under the 10th.
The suggestion was the 19th.
Wednesday the 19th? I'm going, I got Capitol Hill visits. I guess they're virtual. I won't be in DC, but
How about the 20th?
That's fine with. that's
I
fine
can't
with
do
us.
it the 20th. I have another meeting on the 20th that I can't miss.
How about,
I can do the 19th because I don't think that we're not going to do any in the evening.
you really
You
want
want
to
to do the
do
19th?
live on Zoom?
No, because I'm going to be really cranky.
Okay, let's not do that. How about the preceding week on either Tuesday or Wednesday, May 11 or 12?
The 12th's out for me.
My daughter is graduating from medical school on the 11th.
Okay, that's out for you.
That's out for you.
And the 12th is out for me.
How's the 13th, or Thursday's generally bad, Steve? I think there was a Thursday problem.
Thursdays, I have meetings on Thursdays.
Okay.
But you want to do it, I can do it the 18th. I can do it the 19th. Well, the 19th you said is out. The 20th,
I can do the 18th.
I can do the 18th.
I couldn't do the 18th.
Okay.
The first week, the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th,
Yep.
for everybody.
Mhm.
What about the,
Oh, you're out.
I'm,
what
wait,
about the 20th?
20th
the
is-
20th I can't do.
What happened to the 17th? No one can do Monday? Oh, that's the one we're moving.
That's when we're moving it.
How about the
How
week
about
of
it's free.
23rd?
How about the first week of May?
Yeah.
How about the 4th?
Yeah,
Can you do that?
Good?
yeah.
4th, good?
Okay.
Everyone,
Does that work for everybody?
I think so.
we have early April and early May.
That works.
Okay.
You need to make a motion.
When do we get to meet in person?
Good question.
After Steve gets vaccinated.
I was just thinking that. Okay.
I bet you missed the great sandwiches.
Yeah.
Actually, I missed the chips.
I miss it
All right,
all.
so we're good. So we're good on the 4th at 6:15, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Janice, do we have to vote on that?
Rob, I think you should put on the agenda,
Motion.
once we come back to full meetings in person. I think you should send out a menu with all your.
Are you catering?
Do I get paid?
No.
You'll get the same pay that you get for your current position
Oh, I mean,
as vice
I'm
chair.
I'm getting a huge raise.
I may double your rate, your salary.
You should
So-
give him twice his rate.
I've been told we need to have a motion to modify our dates.
I move to modify our dates.
Is there a second? Moved by Dr. Fried, seconded by Dr. Seer. All those in favor? Unanimous. Chief, the IT network upgrade is the next item.
So at the February 10th meeting, the Board of Selectmen approved moving forward the IT network upgrade here at the police department. This is actually the second phase of a 3-phase town project, where the first phase has been completed already, and that was done at the town hall network. This phase of the project will put us in alignment with the town hall's enhancements, so that townwide will start being uniform and have redundancy in storage, safeguards, and security. The project it's going to include a lot of replacement of our network hardware, our servers, our switches, new pathways out of fiber optics, and on-site and off-site backups and upgrades of our operating system. So, to say the least, we've really been struggling with our IT issues, and so we're really looking forward to the upgrade that will undoubtedly greatly enhance our IT efficiency and operations.
So how will that change? We've had a lot of discussion through the years about who manages the IT on site.
Right, so the town is contracted with an outside vendor that's providing a lot of the service for the town. And with this upgrade, they're saying that this will remove a lot of the problems that we've been having, so it'll be less frequent that people experiencing problems.
Okay,
Does that answer your question?
I don't think so. Is there a motion to approve the?
Wait, will there still be a sergeant who is in charge of IT?
Yes, there'll still be a sergeant that'll be affiliated with it, but hopefully his tasks will be significantly diminished.
Are there any other questions? Is there a motion to approve the report of the chief?
I'll move it.
Thank you, Mr. Sessions. Is there a second? Dr. Fried?
This isn't really a discussion of the motion, but if people could please mute if they're not talking, because there's a very distracting echo. I think it's coming from Steve, but.
How did I know that?
That's a likely source.
It's just
Yeah.
COVID. It's a COVID.
The COVID.
You just assume that it's me. How do you know it's me? Maybe it's someone else on the line, but I will mute.
All those in favor? By show of hands? It's unanimous. The next item on the agenda is the personnel matters, the extended sick leave.
The echo's still there, so probably everybody who's not talking should mute.
I think it's Rob. I'll put mine on mute, but I mean, it did sound like an echo from me.
So Officer extended sick leave, just want to let you know that we've been operating somewhat short staffed and will continue to be for the next few weeks. We have one officer out for work and in quarantine with coronavirus close contact exposure. But his test results have been favorable, and we expect them back later this week. And we have another officer who will be undergoing a minor medical procedure at the end of the month. And pursuant to his doctor, he has an anticipated recuperation period of about 2 weeks, during which he'll be out on accrued sick time to cover his absence. And that's all for personnel.
Sorry, the next item is the budget update.
Just a quick update on the budget. As you know, we presented our operating budget back in January to the Board of Selectmen and Finance. In February, Selectmen reviewed all of the proposed budgets from the various departments and made their recommendations to the Board of Finance. And currently this month, the Board of Finance has been conducting their reviews of the budgets, and I expect they'll be releasing their final recommendations in the near future, maybe the end of this week or shortly thereafter. And as I said, then we'll have the preliminary budget hearing in April and the annual town meeting on May 17th.
Do you think the echo could be because, Frank, you're near Janice and the two of you are echoing around?
No, she doesn't have anything. She doesn't have a device on.
Thank you, Frank.
Andy, are you able to mute?
I think it stopped for whatever reason. So our next item on the agenda is executive session. No, it's still echoing.
I'm muted I'll go back on mute. So maybe you just determine by process of elimination.
I don't think it's you, Steve.
So is there a motion to move into executive session?
Also move.
Is there a second? Moved by Mr. Esposito, seconded by Dr. Freed. In addition to the commissioners, for the first part of the executive session, I would invite Chief Cappiello and Janice. So if you can, I'm going to leave this Zoom session on. You can log into the executive session. I'm going to use a different device, and then you can come back while this is still running.